For most of my life, I've experienced shame. And for most of it as well, I wouldn't have been able to actually pinpoint what that was. It looked more like self-sabotaging behavior and playing it safe in my life and avoiding a ton of shit. And it's been in these last few years, after diving deeper into men's work, tapping into a community of men, that I've started to actually identify and recognize the shame and recognize the harmful patterns from all the things I've been avoiding in my life. And I wonder how many of you resonate, how many of you have struggled and not had a reliable group of individuals that you could turn to for feedback, for support, for accountability. In today's video, I'm going to dive deeper into my personal experience with men's work and how becoming part of a brotherhood transformed my life. I recently created a 3-part series on male loneliness and being able to identify the subtle ways that loneliness shows up in our lives, the physical, mental, and social impacts of experiencing loneliness, and strategies that we can do to develop a deeper sense of connection and community. If you want to know more about the impact that loneliness can have on your life, I invite you to go check out those other videos. But the essence is it impacts all of it. And there are so many men who have internalized the idea that they need to be able to deal with their problems on their own. And if they can't, there's something wrong with them. Virtually every men's retreat, every men's circle, and in my coaching sessions, this is a common theme. And it's one that we need to be able to lean in and address head on if we want to lead our lives more effectively. Most of the men I speak with have felt more comfortable opening up to women in their lives, and that was me included. And it's only been in recent years that I've actually leaned into a deeper sense of trust, a deeper sense of honesty and vulnerability with men in my life. And as I've done so, as I've leaned deeper into true brotherhood, I've started to move through the parts of me that I was hiding, the parts of me that I was avoiding, that was manifesting in addictive behaviors and avoidance and all of the self-sabotaging patterns that were showing up. And of course, I still have aspects of those showing up, but I now have a support network that I can turn to when I'm starting to notice my avoidance popping up. Virtually every man that I've worked with so far in the world of men's work and in brotherhood have recognized how mind-opening and heart-opening it was when they started to talk about their problems more honestly. Not just the details, but the depth of what was going on in their lives and how that was impacting them, realizing how not alone they were, how so many others were experiencing similar issues. And despite the context or the story being different, the underlying experience was so similar. When men take the courageous step to lean in and enter a space where they're invited to share with another man what they're avoiding in their lives, or what they don't want this other man to know, or what they're struggling with, and being received with compassion and acceptance and unwavering support, the kind of transformation that can happen almost instantaneously is incredible, because it's the shame that starts to create these toxic patterns. It pushes us down into the shadows and has us dealing with our stuff on our own. And it's in those places that I'm going to make poor decisions. When I'm allowing myself to be witnessed in the parts that I don't even love myself, about myself, and seeing another man being able to hold that with unwavering love, it really starts to alchemize the negative stories, the self-talk that I have, and allows me to take more constructive action. And at times, it also means asking for feedback, asking for their input on what they think is going wrong or how I can move forward where I'm feeling stuck. And sometimes it's just about being heard. The second I voice it, a layer of clarity that I didn't have before starts to come through, because I'm now able to accept that the parts of me that I was resisting before, the emotions that I was resisting to experience, now become something that I'm able to feel into and be open to. And the second I start to be open to that emotional experience or that physical experience, then all of a sudden an opening happens in my life. I'm no longer trying to avoid a certain thing. I'm able to experience it more fully. I can bring presence, I can bring stability into the places that I was feeling stuck. And all of a sudden, the clarity comes. The decision that I needed to make, but I was afraid to make, lands. And I'm able to have that courage to step in and make that decision to lead my life more effectively. Whether men are struggling in their business or in their relationships or general personal challenges, to be able to bring that to a council of men and share honestly about how that's impacting them in their lives, and receiving support, receiving honest feedback and accountability to be able to take action to affect a meaningful change in your life. That is this catalyst that really propels you forward and allows you to take constructive action, not to be stuck spinning your wheels or thinking that you need to take care of everything on your own. Because when we start to internalize that I need to have all of this figured out, the pressure and the weight of that becomes immense and leads me to inaction or procrastination. The second I start to address that, particularly when I share that with another man, I'm looking at a mirror that can feel very confronting at first, because I'm forced to be honest with where I'm not living in alignment with what I value. And when I have that reflection come back to me, and not out of shame or out of judgment, but out of a pure recognition that I'm not living in alignment fully with my values, it's an opportunity for me to step in and step up into who I strive to be. In the last few years, I've been fortunate to attend and host men's retreats, to be a part of online and in-person men's communities, and the transformation that I've experienced has been profound. I'm playing it safe far less often. My internal self-dialogue has really started to shift, and I'm able to bring more compassion to myself and more consistency into my relationships. I used to think that I had solid connections with people in my life. And in doing this work, I realized that there was a level of connection that I was denying myself. I wasn't fully allowing myself to be seen by other people because I wasn't sharing the depth of the things that I was struggling with in my life. I gave a sense that I had it more together than I really did. And that was a coping mechanism, an idea to try and keep my external environment safe so that I could feel safe within my internal environment. And the more I started to share the depth of what was happening within me, the more I started to experience a deeper, more authentic connection, because I allowed other people to see me, not just the places that were going well in my life, but my flaws, my fallibilities, my fears, my insecurities, the places I didn't love myself. And as I was witnessed in those things, I started to develop a deeper sense of trust, a deeper sense of intimacy with people in my life. And that has allowed me to feel more fulfillment, a deeper sense of meaning and connection in my life, which we as humans are hardwired for. So this sense of brotherhood, this sense of community has transformed every aspect of my life. And I now feel way more equipped to receive the support, the feedback, and the accountability that I need to live in alignment with what I value and move in the direction that I say I want to go. Again, that doesn't mean things in my life are perfect. Far from it. But I am not alone in dealing with my problems. And I have so many inspiring and trustworthy men that I can call on at any given moment, who will be there for me, who will hold space, who will help me move through my internal challenges and my inner dialogue and receive the clarity that I need to move forward constructively, to address my problems head on and stop playing it safe and stop running from the man that I know that I can be. My invitation for you in sharing all of this is to reflect on, who do you turn to for guidance? And how would your life change if you had a community of men supporting you? A place where you could bring your challenges, bring your struggles, bring your insecurities, bring your doubts, and have a place where you can be heard, supported, receive the feedback that you need, and the accountability to help move your life in the direction you desire. A place where all that shame can actually be heard. And the second that is heard, it starts to evaporate. It starts to lead to a deeper sense of clarity out of the confusion that you've been stuck in. And know that anytime you feel flawed or fallible or are starting to question things or need any kind of support, that you know there's a network of people that you can turn to who have your back. How would your life change? It's become clear to me over these last few years that brotherhood is essential for every man's journey. And this isn't a new concept. It's something that has been around for millennia at least. And it's something that is starting to be revived. And I'm excited to announce that at Brother, we are launching our online community, and it's a space for men to be able to receive support, to be able to connect regularly, to receive feedback, resources, tools that you need to be able to lead your life effectively. You already have the answers within you, but we do need support. We do need our networks because, as I've said before, and I'll say again, we are flawed and fallible humans, and we're not meant to do this work alone. When I have a strong supportive network, I have the tools and the ability to lead myself more effectively. And we are providing that with Brother. So if you are interested and want to learn more, check out the link in the description below. It is coming live and would love to have you join us. If you're ready to break through the barriers that are holding you back, experience deeper connection and fulfillment in your life, and lead your life in the direction that you genuinely desire, I highly recommend you check out this community. It could be the place for you that helps get you to that next evolution. And if you think there's a man in your life who would benefit from this kind of support, please share this video with him and let him know that there is a community out there that is willing and ready to support him. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Stu Murray signing off, and we'll see you next week.